Hi, Bubba.
You need to go outside. You trying to tell me?
He's like, I'm bored.
Are we getting the thing outside of me? Are we back up? Is the mic working? 1 1 1. Test test test. Audio. Yeah, it's up. What'd you put on for the title of this?
Something about the MCU. I think it was IronHeart and what's next for the MCU or something to that effect.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, talking all things MCU and what's next in the MCU. Okay, they're back. We're back. Okay, so where did we? Oh, we were left off with talking about feelings about how Infinity War and Endgame ended, and we're wondering how you felt about the deaths, that the people that they chose to take out of the MCU in those two movies.
We're back.
So
thank you for coming back.
Yes, thank you for coming back. We're enjoying this conversation.
We are. Where we leave off?
We were talking about the deaths, the reactions to Endgame and Infinity War, and how we feel about who we lost in Infinity War and what that means for us going forward. Are there any characters from the comics that you would want to see? I'm sorry if there's too many questions at once, but are there any characters you would really like to see come into the MCU from the comics that we haven't seen yet, or anybody who we have seen that you'd like to see get more screen time or be portrayed differently?
Do you have anybody while you're waiting for the answer?
Who would I like to see? I think honestly, with them queuing up the X-Men, I think that's the biggest MCU comic stories characters that I would love to see. How this iteration, how Marvel themselves will execute these characters, because we saw how Fox did. So I would love to see, especially Storm. I want to see how Storm will be brought to life, because Storm was a big hero for me as a kid. So I would love to see Storm, how Marvel would do Storm.
How did you first learn about Storm?
Comics. My dad was a big Marvel fan before. Yeah, that was how I got into Marvel, was my dad's.
He had comics.
I think he had some comics. And then we saw all of the X-Men movies. And so I think seeing how Marvel would translate Storm. I also loved how X-Men 83. The animated series. What was it? 97, not 83. Where did 83 come? But yeah, X-Men 97. I loved how they had Storm in X-Men 97. So I would love to see how they would do live action Storm. How was the scene in the theater when Captain America lifted the hammer and Avengers? I was excited about that, especially because we got the sneak peek of that early on in the MCU when they were all drinking and
Age of Ultron.
At Age of Ultron, when Cap tried it, and even Thor was little eyebrow raised. I was so here for it, and it was just a collective. We knew it. Mm-hmm. We knew that we knew it was a long time coming, but we knew
that it was on its way. Yeah, but that moment in the theater, I remember losing my stuff. I was definitely cheering, and I was vocal.
That's a good one. You want to see Ghost Rider? I'd be down to see Ghost Rider and Doomsday. That moment was sudden. Which moment was sudden?
Captain picking up the hammer.
Oh yeah, Captain picking up the hammer. Yeah, my whole theater turned into a stadium.
Yeah, everybody screaming.
Yeah, that was a monument of a moment.
Yeah, that made it for me. I remember walking out of the theater feeling taller after that.
Man,
you got it right.
Mm-hmm.
If that ended the MCU, I'd have been comfortable with that. I'd have
and I think in a way it kind of did.
Cool. It did.
We're having a whole different MCU. Can we even argue if it is the MCU still?
It's a drawn out death right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also find it hard to believe that Cap is like gone.
Yeah, he's on the moon, as they said in Winter Soldier.
The conspiracy theory.
There's a series, a point in the comic where he's on the Shield on Sword space station from there, and not on Earth as Old Man Cap running operations down on the Earth where another guy is being Cap. I think it was somebody else before. Like his son or somebody before Sam. So
yes.
It's a story.
The most epic or greatest scene in cinema for me was the Avengers Assemble scene. That was top notch. Yes, that is definitely cinematic history.
Yeah. Again, a payoff after Age of Ultron, because at the end of Age of Ultron, he did the Avengers, and then they cut it off before they wouldn't let him say Assemble, but all the rest of us knew it was supposed to be an Assembles at that point. So they strung that one along nicely, and they're saying they're doing the same thing with Fantastic Four with them trying to get Ben Grimm to say the thing. I'm expecting a Ben Grimm is clobbering time one time at the end of the movie, but maybe they'll do the same thing and tease us.
I don't need it. No, I don't need it.
I don't need it, but I wonder if people are waiting for it, and it's just interesting that they're playing with it right now.
Yeah,
I just noticed that. I think it was in the last preview they gave us.
Ryan Gosling or Keanu Reeves all the way for Ghost Rider. Yeah. Well, okay, not physically, but he's an incredible actor. Ryan Gosling, I think, for the look, maybe.
Keanu Reeves is kind of too because of his chiseled face and how it's kind of looking even more.
He kind of looks ghostly,
looks like a skeleton almost.
Like he already has the look.
It would be hard to make him a skeleton.
Keanu Reeves are all the way. I feel like because I love his portrayal of other things, and he. No offense to the man, but he does already feel like he could play a ghost.
He could play a great vampire.
I was gonna say he could be a great ghost or vampire.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely excellent at that.
Yeah, I would love to see Keanu Reeves as a Ghost Rider. I could also see him if we ever got Blade. I think I could see him somewhere in a Blade storyline.
Yeah,
too.
Well, because of the martial arts that we saw in the old Blade movies, because of the fight scenes. Yeah, there was somewhere else I saw Keanu Reeves, and I can't remember where it was. It might have been Ghost Rider. That might be the place where I see him. I can't remember where else I've heard people talk about him playing a role. Do you remember somewhere else they talked about him playing a role? Ryan Gosling, I don't even remember what Ryan Gosling looks like. I always forget what he looks like.
I always think of Deadpool first. When I think of Ryan, when I hear the name Ryan Gosling, I always think of Ryan Reynolds first for whatever reason instead of.
Like I feel like I can see him almost in my head, but I can't even look him up real quick.
Yeah.
Damn, I could have did the same thing, huh?
That's fine. Let's see. I have some great details about Doomsday, but it might be a spoiler. If you know that you know, then let's not do spoilers. There are some things. That's why he does kind of I feel like him and Ryan Reynolds might kind of look alike. Maybe I'm wrong. But that's Ryan Gosling.
Do we have a photo of him? Oh, okay, I do remember the face. It's a Ghost Rider. I guess I could see it. Possibly because what I'm seeing right now is I'm thinking about the Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider. But I didn't think Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider was a great casting either. But Ryan Gosling, he could probably pull it off. I'm sure he could pull it off. Not even probably. He's a great actor. I definitely give him that. He's a great actor. Just look wise though, and
Keanu Reeves looking vibe wise
has that vibe too. Very.
Yeah, he
mysterious.
Gives me Ghost Rider.
And I was thinking about the cheeks, like how they're sunken in. That looks like he almost looks like a skeleton as is.
Mm-hmm. He's got that sunken in. I haven't seen the sun in a while. That's
my dude though.
Look, yeah.
I rock with him heavy.
And the way he keeps his sideburns, like they are not sideburns, his beard, it gives even more shadow that gives him that like dark sunken kind of look.
Yeah.
The next saga of Marvel will mainly focus on cosmic, mutant, and supernatural stuff. Yep. I agree. Yeah. I think so too. I think we're definitely heading in that direction because this whole phase has been very much Iron Man at the center of it, which has made tech very much at the center of it. But especially where we've gone now with Doctor Strange and with WandaVision. This phase has been magic. This phase is like definitely heavily magic. And then I think we're going to see the crossover between that and mutants for sure. There are rumors of many teams to show up in the next saga. Yep, I think so.
Any specific teams that you've heard of that you're excited about, or any specific teams that you have not heard of that you want to see pop up? You too, if there's anybody.
I think X-Men, really, that's it for me that I want to see done and done well. I would love to see like how Jean Grey fits into a world with Loki and all of these other power players that are more magic and godly, because mutants are kind of like somewhere weirdly in between.
Some of them are right there with next to gods, like Apocalypse,
right?
The first mutant.
So that's what I'm really curious about, is like, what does a universe with a Jean Grey and a Loki and Thor and Doctor Strange, like, what does that mean? And a Mephisto now, like, what does that universe, like, how did that universe even survive? All of those power players coexisting together.
I gotta say again, I love the Dormammu throw off inside of Ironheart. I have to give him credit for that. Like that was a moment of disappointment for me, and I was like, nah, I couldn't believe it. So they did well with that.
Like Annihilators, Midnight Suns, X-Men,
yeah, all them adult teams. I can't think of any
I'm not
teams.
familiar with Annihilators.
Really?
Yeah, so I have to do homework. That's homework.
It doesn't sound familiar for me, but I like the Wrecking Crew. That's a crew I like, but that's not somebody I have to see. Like they had Crusher Creel on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That was good enough for me, I guess. And he's no longer with us. He became part of Gravitonium. So we lost him. I would love to see other characters. Like Black Cat is somebody I've really been itching to see in the Spider-Man lore. And there are probably 1,000 other characters that I'd love to see. There's talk about in Vision Quest, somebody I want to see.
Okay, the Annihilators feature Silver Surfer, Ronan the Accuser, Qsar, Beta Ray Bill, Gladiator. So that's the Annihilators.
I hope we get Beta Ray Bill in Thor 5. And I hope we get the Hercules Thor showdown that we were going to get before, although I don't think Hercules stands up to Thor in any way, shape, or form. So I wasn't super excited about that.
Oh, and then Icon, Space Knight, Cosmo, and Cosmo. Icon or Space Knight and Cosmo are the last members.
Oh, Cosmo was the dog from the Guardians of the Galaxy, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool. So I could see that. I could see.
You were asking about Guardians of the Galaxy before we got cut off.
Oh, that was what I was asking. How do you feel about Guardians of the Galaxy, even though we're clearly on a different topic? But yeah, what are your feelings about Guardians of the Galaxy?
We're getting circled up on our MCU stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's all on topic. I think it all works. I'm really curious about what New Rockstars has to say, and I wonder what other channels.
I know, right?
Yeah, especially now that Eric got Mephisto. Like that's all I want to see right now is Eric's response to Mephisto.
I forgot who was all on Midnight Suns. Yeah, I could go for seeing them too.
Blade, Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider. Who else?
Morbius, Johnny Blaze.
Morbius wouldn't come because he's in the Sony universe, but Johnny Blaze, there you go. Yeah, I can see that. Okay. Well,
there's been a bunch of people who've been a part of them at one point or another.
Yeah.
So Blade, Kashala, the Spirit Rider, Magic, Nico Minor, Wolverine, Johnny Blaze, Elsa Bloodstone, Caretaker, Darkhold. Is that Wolverine?
Wow.
Darkhold, Redeemers, Jinx, Doctor Strange, Dr. Voodoo, Frank Drake, Hellstorm, Damon Hellstorm, The Hood. Oh, The Hood. Okay, interesting.
Wow, nice. Okay.
All right. Especially since at the post-credit scene.
Like that, yeah.
And that post-credit scene of him going and finding her.
Oh, Annihilators includes Thor, Star-Lord, Silver Surfer. Wow. Okay. Hypernation.
And many more. Okay.
I don't know Hypernation. I have to look at Hypernation. Nova, that would be a cool way to bring Nova in since they've been talking about it and canceling that series over and over again.
All right.
Look at
that. Oh, wow. Scarlet Witch briefly, too, was on the
finally happened. So I'm sure that's what they're talking about. New Rockstars.
Oh, Werewolf by Night was apparently briefly in the Midnight Suns too. Anyway, okay, cool.
This is gonna be cool then. Well,
I'm
we're looking
excited.
forward, and we really appreciate the conversation today. I think this has been great. I'm ready for a nap.
You ready for that?
I got tonight's call. So
Oh, right. You
it's a
got
great
another call. But we will definitely be doing more of these, and probably we'll do our best to do more advanced notice when we're going to do this live. This was kind of spur of the moment.
Yeah.
This was just to see whether or not we would enjoy it, see what the vibe would be like.
Yeah.
And maybe going forward, instead of doing a live watch during it, maybe we'll do an after conversation. You let us know what you would prefer. Would you want to do the watch live with us? Would you rather us wait and have conversation after it's all over?
Yeah.
And do stuff like this. And we'll probably do some more lives if any more videos or anything like that drop for us
it won't just be Marvel.
Be able to see. So, and then everything won't be Marvel related. Are there any other franchises or shows that you're excited about? That you would enjoy having conversation about, because we're going to be doing some other conversation around some other shows too. Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, Benedict Wong as Wong, Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight, Kit Harington as Black Knight. I'm not familiar with Kit Harington.
He was in Eternals, Black Knight.
Mahershala Ali as Blade. Yep. Elizabeth as one. Yeah. Yep. Oh, Stranger Things. We did say we might go back and watch the finale of Stranger Things.
I need to watch the first 2 seasons again anyway, because I kind of.
Kit Harington was in Game of Thrones. Okay,
he was dope. He was Jon Snow.
Okay, cool.
Game of Thrones too is something I really think you should see. Game of Thrones is
okay. So we might. So you said Stranger Things. So Stranger Things, Game of Thrones. But yeah, so we'll do some conversations around some other shows too. So if you're open to it, there will definitely be more to come.
Yeah, Game of Thrones. I think you would. I'd be curious to see how you respond to that. I think you might get into that. Like, after seeing you got into Scandal, and I was really surprised by that. Now I'm like, okay, I wasn't going to bring Game of Thrones your way. I was not going to bring Game of Thrones your way, but now that I see you like this, I'm like, okay, maybe she might like something else I like.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, DC. Okay. What in DC? Because that's a loaded one. Oh, Zen, even Zen did not go in the pop.
He's like, look, man, hold on, you're going too far now.
Hold on. Okay. Are there any particular pieces of DC? Because DC is a hard one. It hurts me. Yes, we will be seeing Jurassic World. We will be seeing Jurassic World. He doesn't want to see it. He thinks it's been long and drawn out. But I will see anything with Scarlett Johansson in it. And I've loved Jurassic World since I was a kid. Jurassic Park since I was a kid. So we'll be going to see. We will definitely be talking about Jurassic World. And then right after that, we'll be talking about Fantastic Four. So yes, you will definitely be seeing more of us then. There's definitely so much more to go.
Yeah, definitely. I think DC is definitely a conversation for another day for me, because I do.
But is there before we go, is there anything specific from DC where you'd want to start? Because DC is hard for us because their execution is so. Their execution is so special.
But now that they're just about to start their reboot, there are definitely a lot of things to talk about, probably. A lot of things to research and learn.
No, don't tell me that. Every reviewer is saying it's very bad, but I'll see it. Don't tell me that. I'm still going to see it.
What, Jurassic World?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. I don't mean that laugh like that, but just it makes sense. It tracks, because all of them are bad.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
My heart breaks.
Dark Knight is the best superhero movie ever made. We're very close there, but I don't like it better than Infinity War.
Batman the Dark Knight. He argues with me all the time about which Batman is the best Batman. Dark Knight.
That's the best Batman movie.
The cake.
No, that's the best movie. I said we're talking about who played Batman best.
He did.
But that's, again, like I said, DC is a conversation for another day. And after that, I need to prepare for that conversation, because that's an emotional roller coaster right there.
You Christian just made my day. You just made.
Oh, hold on. Who's your favorite Batman? Who played Batman best? It was a Nolan masterpiece. Absolutely. That was the best Batman movie of all time. But was he the best Batman?
Yes.
It's not fair. You're trying to influence the.
I'm not influencing.
Look,
Who is the best Batman? In your opinion, who is the best Batman?
She had in screwed with the vote machines. I don't want to know now.
Mm-hmm.
I was just playing. Bale always. Oh, that looks like it says Bale always beta. That's right. Yeah, Bale was second. He was definitely second
Bale
best.
Always
Christian Bale is absolutely the second best for sure. Yeah, I'll give you that. Look, I'm gonna save my conversation on that because I have other thoughts. I'm not gonna waste on this one. I'm not gonna. That's the easy answer. I feel like I have to close the laptop.
Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us. He actually does have another call today, and it's a late night one. So
my crew Grayskull, check it out if you love hip hop.
Yeah, so he's got a Grayskull call tonight. So we will have to slide, but we will be back. This was so much fun. Okay, now we got beef. Robert Pattinson, really, Fran.
Oh.
He said it was very good
well.
also.
He did well for the movie, yes, but
yeah, licked me.
Yeah, still, yeah. I'm not gonna say it yet. I'm gonna hold my water.
Okay, so we're gonna have this will be a continued conversation. He's gonna have to have his feelings about it in full. He's gonna come with his dissertation and papers. And
we're gonna
receipts.
We're gonna watch too. We're gonna have to have a Batman watch and go through the series and take some score here.
All right, you hear that, friend? We are gonna have a Batman watch too. Probably won't be alive, but we will watch and talk after.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Stranger Things, and I need to watch that so we can talk about that one. So the first 2 seasons I wasn't as plugged in as I think I need to be to talk about it intelligently.
Yeah, so we're gonna watch Stranger Things. I didn't see the last season, so yes, we will start the season's over and do a Stranger Things watch, and we'll probably won't go episode by episode, but maybe season by season anytime something major happens, come have a chat.
That rocks.
About it.
Let me just hop on live real quick and hop right back off.
Season 4 is the best. Okay.
Ooh, okay, good.
All right.
Appreciate that.
I do remember season 4 had me shook. Yeah. So this will definitely be a fun rewatch.
Yeah. We're looking forward to learning more about you too. So thanks for hanging out. This is a lot of fun.
Yes, thank you so much for hanging out.
And you made this extremely worthwhile.
Yeah, for this being our first time going live and doing this, you made this so worth the while. And we're definitely excited to hop on and talk with you again.
Yeah, and apparently Zen is too. They had to come by and say hi. But thank you. Did you want to do any of your
But yeah, so that's been us. This has been CineSuite, where we talk all the things we love that have to do with cinema and television and sweets. We enjoyed our snacks today, the Pop-Tarts and the ginger snaps, tea, water, and coffee. And we'll catch you next time. I'm Yolanda Marie, Yani for short.
Dragon Pitchfork, Shaah for short.
And we will see you next time.
Peace,
love, and fairy dust. You were so sweet too. Thank you so much. Yeah. And can't wait to talk with you about so many of these other things we now have to talk about.
Yeah, looking forward to getting to know you.
Bye.
Peace. Good boy. Did you have fun?